Hey, it's Darlene, and I'm working on a layout for the Mix It Up Monday challenge on Peace, Love, Craft Clubhouse on Facebook and also on Instagram. So if you check the information box, all the links will be down below because it is a hop, and I hope you do go to every single one of the participants. So I always say that I don't do mixed media in my layouts, but then I realize I have been, and I do. When I originally think of mixed media, I think of all this kind of wet product, and I don't like that because it really warps paper. So in this video, I'm just using a lot of different inks. I'm even using stamps and some splatter, things like that, but it's very minimal wet product, which I totally love. So I pulled out the stencil and some browns, variety of shades of brown ink pads that I have with a paddle brush, and I'm just starting to put some color on this white cardstock. You noticed earlier that I cut this down an inch on two sides, which made it 11 by 11, because I am going to mat it with a pattern paper base, which I haven't decided if I'm doing that mustard yellow or that really pretty blue. So you'll see that at the end. So I pulled out some of my what I call small background stamps, and I just decided I'm just randomly stamping. These are like little polka dots, and I used a darker brown. I tried to use different shades for every little element that I was doing. And I remembered I have these like mark making stamps. This one's from Illustrated Faith. I use this a lot in my junk journal, which I do a lot of mixed media on, and I rarely use it on my scrapbooks. And after using it today, I'm trying to figure out why. But I just, again, randomly put them in places. I kind of started off thinking, okay, the visual triangle, but you know what? Then I ended up just like, wait a minute, a lot of the stuff's going to be covered. I sort of know where the pictures and stuff, because this is based off a sketch, which I will show you later. But all the information, like I mentioned, the sketch, the hop, the links, everything is going to be in the information box below. I did decide to put some ink around the edges, so I did put a scrap piece of paper underneath, because I've been using this Cricut pad or mat for my kind of like as a base to add some cushion underneath. But I realized that it's not easy to clean, because it's not really a mat for mixed media. It's really just a mat to like measure your products or projects and things like that. So I did go with the mustard as far as what I'm going to use to mat it. And this this striped paper is really just either horizontal or vertical, but I wanted it more diagonal. So I just cut a piece of it on a random piece. And look, I'm not even measuring, but I think it is about 1.5 inches on width. And I know I cut it down to be a little bit smaller than that 11-inch square, so probably about 10 inches. But everything I was doing was just on the fly, so, which I actually love about it, because even though I am following a sketch, which definitely helps, it also is a just do what I want kind of layout. So in the sketch, it does show a 4x6 picture going horizontal or landscape, and then a 3x4. Well, I had that church as a 4x4, and I thought that was perfectly fine. So there I did. I chopped that down a little bit because I didn't want it to span the entire 12-inch page or even the 11-inch page. So here's the sketch that we're using. It seems pretty simple enough. Plenty of room for mixed media. I absolutely love it. But you see how there's that scallop going across the whole page? I do work on that, and I use this piece of paper here, but instead of using scallop, you're going to see in a minute, I use a different type of punch. I thought the scallop was almost a little too kind of girly and sweet, so I used that punch instead. It just kind of has some, like, I guess I can call them arrows going across. Since it had that opening, I decided to put some blue cardstock underneath that. So I just trimmed that down, I think about an inch, maybe a little bit less than an inch, to just attach it right behind that strip. But I do like that color, because really besides that diagonal striped piece of paper, there isn't a whole lot of color in this layout. But also because it's a, what do you call that? Like a scenery, a landscape. And when I say landscape, I mean as far as scenery photos, it didn't really require a lot of color, or at least I didn't think so. I did recently clean off my desktop, and I found these stamped images of this pottery. So I went ahead and just fussy cut those out. I did color them a little while ago, just a slight bit of color, and you can kind of see that tan. But I found another stamp that I had that had a threesome of more of those Southwest Indian baskets and pottery. Now, this picture was down in the Tucson area, or south of Tucson, and so I thought those fit. And if you notice on the sketch, there's like this cluster of embellishments right there in the middle. And so I thought that fit there perfectly. I did decide to use this Life is an Adventure stamp on another set, and I just used black for that. I stamped it directly onto the page. I figured if I messed up, I can always cover it, stamp it on something else, and then cover it up, but it stamped perfectly. So really, there's not a whole lot going on in this page, but that little bit of mixed media that I did and just that minimum amount of color I think just really makes this page really special. I did do some more mixed media or some more stamping off camera because as I was taking a picture of this, I thought it still needed something else. So I did have another like round circle background stamps, which I did show earlier, which you'll see in the final pages. But my sister gifted me with these mini distress ink pads, and they just happened to be on top of my desktop, and I thought, oh, look at how pretty that looks. I just swiped them a little bit here, there. Look at how pretty that looks. I just love it. And then I take this dark roast, which is basically brown, splatter, and put some splattering there as well. I think it's turning out really nice. It's very minimal, but also enough. And I love that about this layout. I didn't do any journaling or really like a big title, but I do have more pictures of this church that we went to, and so I'll do some journaling there. But I hope you like this video, and if you do, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I do post 2 videos a week, and one is always scrapbooking, and the other is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center, which can just be a variety of anything. So I hope you decide to hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to follow those other links for the hop. Bye.